Welcome back, everybody, to Santa Cruz's hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. It's the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John. The Gazette Radio Digest version. I'm not getting hypnotized. All
right. Well,
I don't care if I have ADHD or whatever.
At least you calm down a little.
I don't care.
You could use the therapy.
Hey, you know what I need to know, John?
What do you need to know?
I need to know what the heck happened at the city council meeting last Tuesday night, because it lasted till like 2 in the morning or something.
You didn't stay up and watch it? I figured that's why you were cranky.
I fell asleep. But I know we're having our good friend on, Ed Bernstein's on with us. I know he's done with it. He spent like 6 weeks of his life focusing on this matter, and he's done with it. He doesn't want to talk about it, but I talked him into coming on one more time just to talk about it one more time so we can wrap this baby up. Hi, Ed.
Hi, Doug.
Wow, Ed, that's a pretty good introduction. How much did Doug pay you to talk about these billboards again?
To get to come on?
Yeah.
We were all pretty tired of talking about billboards, but the issue was never really billboards or freeway billboards for me. It was more of the message the city was sending about small businesses being able to be regulated out of business and then take their business from them and compete. When we started, there wasn't really any real compensation or any effort to try. They said they had effort to try to negotiate with Edwards, which was the local company that we were concerned about.
Right.
And as it progressed and the heat was on, they did sit down and say, we can't afford to be perceived this way. Let's put together something to try to make them whole. I don't know the details of it, but I do believe the city did work with Edwards to get something that was agreeable to both parties.
Okay, so then, Ed, let me ask you, are you cool with the way that if it would have worked the way that it should have worked, which is, hey, this seems like a good idea, let's talk to the people who are affected, let's see if we can make them whole and do this as a whole package, you wouldn't have had too much of a problem one way or the other. We wouldn't even be talking.
If I was the city and I was going to do this the right way, and they could have done it that way, I would have approached Edwards and say, look, we're going to buy your company for a fair price. We're going to get, let's say, Clear Channel and CBS, because right now the deal is Metro owns a piece of the revenue, the city owns a piece of the revenue, and All Vision owns a piece of the revenue. Not any of the three know how to build, sell, or maintain billboards.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It would have made more sense for the city to do a deal directly with Clear Channel and CBS, which would probably avoid all litigation because they'll probably make more money off those 3 billboards than all the billboards that are static in the city.
Exactly.
So that's how I thought about it. But it's not my decision, and people spent 3 years of their life putting this deal together. The main point I had was the city should not be in the business of regulating people out of business because they don't like their business. There's a lot of businesses out here that could be perceived as blight, and blight is all a matter of opinion.
Yeah,
depends on what side of the fence you're on. So I just thought it was a very dangerous precedent, and it has been set. Now they can regulate you out and give you a big chunk of cash or something and still take your business from you, but at least they're not bankrupting you.
But wait a minute, Ed, wasn't it kind of like that before? I mean, you have eminent domain, you have things where, cities
No, eminent domain. Let me tell you, eminent domain is we're putting a library over here on Lyons.
Right.
We're going to buy your building at fair market.
Right.
And then we're going to build a library. But they didn't take your building and say you're now out of business.
Okay, but if the city would have done it as though it were an eminent domain type scenario, and
first of all, it's not city property, so they couldn't do an eminent domain.
No. I'm talking about the business. I know. I know they couldn't have done it as a true eminent domain and force the value down anybody's throat. But if they would have gone to Edwards and said, "Hey, look, we have this opportunity to create basically an income stream for the city, right?" And nobody's going to contest that there's an income stream for the city here, and it's not a bad thing. Money
to the city. But the thing is, there was already income stream going into a private company. The city does not need to go into the business of somebody who's doing it. Let's just face it, government never does a better job than private sector because private sector doesn't get subsidized. And the government does. So if the billboards lose money because they've got a joker selling the signs, they don't end up going bankrupt. The city just prints more money.
Right.
Yeah, or gets it from us by taxing us. So the reality was, whatever happens on this billboard issue, it will not and cannot be more efficient than going directly to the people that do this every day and doing the split with one party. And I said at the city council meeting that you should throw All Vision and Metro under the train and do the deal directly with CBS and Clear Channel.
No pun intended.
And it clears the way for all litigation coming in the future because Clear Channel and CBS will then be part of the new deal.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed, let me ask you, during the process of that meeting that evening, last Tuesday evening, what did you think the city council were? Do you think they had their mind made up? Do you
Well,
think...
I know for a fact that Bob Keller had his mind made up probably 6 months ago. And, is it against the law for them to have their mind made up? Public hearings are made for people to view their alternate viewpoint. And if they come up, and I talked to Bob the other day, he called because he was getting a lot of flack online, and he said this is a really tough job. They don't get paid a lot of money, and they have to make decisions with information that nobody else has. And the reality is that the city really did have a thing for billboards from the day they became a city.
Yeah.
And they
thing to
have
get
their
rid of
perception
them.
of what they want the city to be. This was the only way they could do it. If it got voted down this last Tuesday, it would be a dead issue from then on, and they'll still never get rid of the billboards. I think in the end run, the way it happened, everybody's going to get their fair compensation for what they're doing, and then the city can deal with who's going to sell the signs and who's going to build the signs. But the way it was done, I didn't feel real comfortable with, but the outcome was okay.
Okay. All right, that's fair. I don't have a problem with that because I know a lot of times the process, I think it was a flawed process, but I agree with you. I think the result works to a certain extent.
I think they thought they couldn't get this done if it was done in the light of day, because there would be too many, I'm sure that CBS and Clear Channel would have easily wanted to be involved in every discussion, and maybe the compensation for their signs may have been a lot higher if they were there from the beginning. Now it's, you've been regulated out, you can sue us or be part of it. And I don't know. I haven't talked to any of the people that were involved with the Clear Channel or the Outdoor Billboard Association, but I'm sure that this sets a precedent for other cities, and they probably won't take it as a, this is a good thing.
So,
Ed, I think that the negotiation, when all said and done, I think that's what's going to happen.
And I wanted to ask you, so you don't know what CBS and Clear Channel are going to do? Are they just going to take this lying down and accept it?
No,
I
would imagine that there's no way in hell they're going to take it lying down. I think that they're going to figure out their strategy. But if I were them, and they know nobody really knows how to build a billboard, I would say, okay, look, we're going to sue you for blah, 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 or you need to get Metro to put us on the first of the line, because there really isn't any other candidates out here that could build the billboards and sell the ads than one of those two organizations. Even Edwards was not a national advertising company. She probably would not have been in the bidding process for that, because 90% of what she does is local advertising.
Exactly.
And those big signs are going to be outside the budget of most of the local people, even at their 15% discount they offer.
Yeah. Hey, Ed, I got to ask you, can you come back and talk about something else sometime?
And Doug knows that he just pulls my string and I'm on the air. So
awesome.
You guys, a conversation you want someone to talk about from a point of view, I'm there.
Sounds good, Ed. All right,
thanks so much, buddy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I promise never ever to talk to you about billboards ever again.
Just not this week. I'm just tired.
All right. Once again, you're listening to Gazette Radio, our Doug and John of Santa Clarita's hometown station. That was Ed Bernstein from 25 Score, right, Doug?
That's
awesome.
right.
All right. Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. We'll be right back.